the basketball world just witnessed something that should be impossible in the modern NBA. A team fresh off capturing their 18th championship banner is seriously considering trading away half of their championship-winning duo. The Boston Celtics, barely a year removed from hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy, find themselves staring at a proposition so audacious it borders on basketball insanity. Dealing Jaylen Brown their $285 million Finals MVP for a collection of young assets that may never reach his level of excellence. This isn't your typical trade speculation or off-season rumor mill fodder. This is the Celtics potentially pressing the nuclear button on a championship core that should be entering its golden years. With Jayson Tatum facing an extended absence this season, Boston appears ready to consider the unthinkable, reshaping their entire franchise identity around youth and potential rather than proven championship production. Greg Swartz's proposed blockbuster sends shockwaves through conventional basketball wisdom. Jaylen Brown heading home to Atlanta in exchange for Zachary Rizicher, Jalen Johnson, and a first-round pick. On paper, it's the kind of move that makes general managers lose sleep and fan bases revolt. In reality, it might represent the most calculated gamble in recent NBA history. Brown's destination adds a layer of poetic justice to this potential earthquake. The four-time All-Star would return to his Georgia roots, joining a Hawks franchise desperate for the kind of two-way excellence that defines championship basketball. At 28, Brown remains in his absolute prime, offering Atlanta a proven Finals MVP who transforms their ceiling from playoff hopeful to legitimate contender. For Boston, the return package represents a fascinating blend of immediate impact and long-term potential. Rizicher, the 2024 first overall pick, brings the kind of upside that front offices dream about, a 6 feet 9 inches wing with elite defensive instincts and developing offensive skills. Johnson adds established production as a legitimate 20-point scorer who fits the modern positionless basketball philosophy. The additional first-round pick sweetens a deal that already reeks of championship-level asset management. Jayson Tatum's absence creates the perfect storm for such a seismic roster move. Rather than watching Brown struggle to carry the team alone while Tatum recovers, Boston could accelerate their transition to a younger, more versatile core. The timing seems almost too convenient. Deal Brown now while his value peaks, then welcome Tatum back to a completely reimagined roster construction. This strategy transforms what could be a lost season into an opportunity for organizational evolution. Instead of treading water while waiting for Tatum's return, the Celtics could develop Rizicher and Johnson into cornerstone pieces. By the time Tatum is healthy, Boston would possess 3 elite wings capable of switching positions and creating matchup nightmares for opposing teams. The psychological aspect cannot be ignored either. Tatum would return to find himself as the undisputed franchise centerpiece, eliminating any lingering questions about hierarchy or ball dominance. Sometimes addition through subtraction creates clarity that benefits everyone involved, even when the subtraction involves losing a Finals MVP. Boston's willingness to consider such a move reflects a broader understanding of championship construction in today's NBA. Youth athleticism and positional flexibility often matter more than individual accolades or past accomplishments. The Celtics could be positioning themselves for sustained excellence rather than short-term validation. Rizicher represents the kind of prospect that rebuilds entire franchises. His combination of size, defensive instincts, and developing offensive skills fits perfectly with modern NBA trends toward positionless basketball. Giving him the keys to the franchise in just his second season might seem premature, but elite prospects often develop faster when given significant responsibility and opportunity. Johnson's inclusion adds immediate credibility to the trade package. His 20-point scoring average demonstrates he's already moved beyond prospect status into legitimate NBA contributor territory. Pairing him with Rizicher and an eventually healthy Tatum creates a wing trio that could dominate the Eastern Conference for the next decade. The financial implications also favor Boston's long-term flexibility. Brown's massive contract, while deserved, limits roster construction options for years to come. Trading him for younger, more affordable talent could provide the salary cap relief necessary to build championship-level depth around Tatum. For the Hawks, acquiring Brown represents the franchise-altering move they've desperately needed since trading away their previous star. Brown's defensive excellence paired with Dyson Daniels would create one of the league's most suffocating perimeter defensive combinations. Opposing backcourts would face nightmarish matchups every single night. Brown's championship experience brings something Atlanta has lacked for years: proven playoff success and finals-level mentality. His Finals MVP trophy isn't just hardware, it's evidence that he performs when the stakes reach their absolute highest. That kind of proven clutch gene cannot be taught or developed through regular season success. The reunion with Kristaps Porzingis adds another intriguing dimension to Atlanta's potential transformation. These two players have never played together extensively, but their complementary skill sets suggest immediate chemistry. Brown's slashing ability, paired with Porzingis' floor spacing, could create offensive combinations that opposing defenses simply cannot contain. This potential trade represents more than roster construction. It's a philosophical statement about how championships are built and sustained. Boston would be betting that developing young talent around an established superstar creates better long-term results than maintaining proven championship combinations. The risk is enormous and obvious. Brown has already proven he can win at the highest level, while Rizicher and Johnson remain largely unproven in high-pressure situations. Trading guaranteed championship production for potential excellence requires organizational courage that few franchises possess. Yet, the potential rewards could reshape the Eastern Conference landscape. If Rizicher develops into the superstar his draft position suggests and Johnson continues improving, Boston could possess a more dynamic and versatile core than their current championship team. Add a healthy Tatum to that mix, and the Celtics might have accidentally created their next dynasty. Tatum's absence creates the perfect cover for such a dramatic roster overhaul. Rather than explaining why they're breaking up a championship team, Boston can frame this as strategic preparation for their superstar's return. The narrative shifts from organizational betrayal to forward-thinking management. The Eastern Conference landscape also supports such bold moves. With several contenders dealing with their own roster questions, this could be the perfect time for Boston to reset while maintaining championship aspirations. Sometimes the best time to make dramatic changes is when everyone else is standing still. Brown's trade value will likely never be higher than it is right now. Fresh off a Finals MVP performance and still in his prime, he represents the kind of established superstar that can instantly transform franchises. If Boston waits another year or two, age and injury concerns might diminish his market value significantly. Championship teams face an inevitable question: when do you break up success in pursuit of sustained excellence? The Celtics could be answering that question earlier than anyone expected, choosing evolution over preservation in their quest for multiple titles. Brown's departure would end one of the most successful draft combinations in recent memory, but it might also begin something even more special. Sometimes the greatest organizational success comes from recognizing when change is necessary, even when current arrangements are working perfectly. The basketball world watches with fascination and horror as Boston considers trading away a Finals MVP barely a year after he delivered their championship. It's the kind of move that either gets remembered as brilliant foresight or catastrophic miscalculation, with no middle ground for mediocrity. Would you trade Jaylen Brown for this package of young talent, or is breaking up a championship core too risky to contemplate? This decision could define the Celtics' next decade. So share your thoughts below, and hit that like button if you think Boston is either making the smartest move in franchise history or about to commit basketball suicide.